A good Saturday morning. I'm Fox 13 meteorologist Tony Sadiku with a quick check on the tropics. Of course, all eyes on Tropical Storm Ian. Ian getting a name late last night, and as expected, we've been monitoring this storm for many days with potential impacts to the state of Florida. I'll show you the latest track in a moment, but first look at the infrared satellite presentation, which does not look all that organized, but you could certainly see the warmer colors there. Those are cold cloud tops showing showers and storms surrounding the storm. It's still battling a lot of wind shear, and that's why it's kind of lopsided. Tough to really identify a center of circulation. But while the presentation is not all that ideal right now, it's going to rapidly intensify here going forward as it passes just south of Jamaica. Here's the latest as of this morning. Top winds at 45 miles per hour, relatively weak tropical storm. Movement is west-southwest at 15, and the pressure is 1,004 millibars. So what's steering the storm now is an upper-level high pressure, right? That high pressure is going to continue to keep it on a west-southwest or generally a west trajectory and then move northwest here in the coming days before it shifts more north here coming up early this week. So watch as this ramps up. It's going to move into an environment that's going to be favorable for strengthening. So while it's battling a lot of wind shear now, the environment that it's going to move into will have lighter wind shear and warmer waters. That's going to allow the storm to rapidly intensify here in the coming days. So by tomorrow afternoon, we're looking at potentially a hurricane, near hurricane strength, and then maybe a hurricane heading into Monday morning. But watch, Monday afternoon, the storm is still in the Caribbean Sea, approaching western Cuba. So still plenty of time to watch this. And eventually, though, we know this is going to emerge somewhere in the southeast Gulf of Mexico, and a lot of question as to where does it go from there. I know it's easy to focus on this center line that takes it right into the Bay Area. Yes, that's a possibility, but it is certainly not set in stone. What I want you to focus more on is just the width, this cone of uncertainty. Notice the entire state is in that cone. We could see path as far east as the Keys, a landfall there, or the center of the storm going way out west and kind of, moving towards the Panhandle. The impacts would be drastically different depending on the track it ultimately takes. What we know is the storm is going to move into a favorable environment, as I mentioned, and the warm waters here is going to allow the storm to strengthen, and that's going to provide fuel for the storm. You look at the model comparisons here. Models in somewhat agreement, but the European notice is further to the east, the GFS the stronger storm further to the west, and it's all dependent on the strength of the steering mechanism. Do we see a storm that passes more to our south or a storm that stays offshore and kind of lingers? It all depends on how much of the upper level steering current that it feels. We know there's going to be a trough diving to the south, but we don't know how strong it is and how much of an influence it's going to have on the steering mechanism of the storm. So a lot to watch here. Look at the ensembles, and there's still a big spread here. Keep in mind, day 4, day 5 forecasts have a margin of error of 150 to 200 miles. So while, again, it's easy to see that center line, there's still a range of possibilities that could occur, and that's why we got to watch the storm closely. Too early to talk specifics. Do you see the European model here? It likes more of a southern solution, but again, not set in stone. Not the only area we're watching. Fiona battering Canada today. Gaston, the Azores, Hermine just hanging out there off the coast of Africa. None of those are a problem for us, and we'll watch that. Doesn't have a huge chance of development, but you get the overall picture here. Ian's going to be the one to watch. Make sure you spend this weekend at least reviewing some of those hurricane preps and plans, just in case you'll have to implement those. Of course, we'll keep the forecast up to date on myfoxhurricane.com. Have a great day.